Hello and welcome to Soccer Now with myself, Samuel Reese, live from Lexington, Kentucky. Today, Wednesday, July 25th. I hope everyone's having a great day, and we'll get right into the news in the soccer world. A lot of news to get to, and I'll tell you what we'll be discussing. Let's start off with La Liga. La Liga 2018 and 19 notable games as the schedule has come out. Some notable games include Valencia CF versus Atletico Madrid on day 1 on August 19th, FC on week 3 on September 2nd, Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid week 7 on September 30th, Valencia CF versus FC Barcelona week 8 on October 7th, FC Barcelona versus Real Madrid in the El Clasico on October 28th, and Real Madrid versus FC Barcelona in the second El Clasico on March 3rd. So those are notable games in La Liga in 2018 and 19, which I'll be discussing a little bit later. And we'll also be discussing what will life be in La Liga after Cristiano Ronaldo, because the El Clasico will be missing one of its greatest characters. So we'll be talking about how it'll be a different kind of El Clasico this season. And also, we'll talk about who should get the Player of the Year. The nominees are Ronaldo, De Bruyne, Griezmann, Hazard, Kane, Mbappe, Messi, Modric, Salah, and Varane. And this is Ray Hudson's best player. He thinks Luka Modric should get it, as he was vital to Real Madrid's UCL title and Croatia's World Cup run. We'll be talking about that. And also, who will get Coach of the Year? The nominees are Allegri, Cherchesov, Dalic, Deschamps, Guardiola, Klopp, Martinez, Simeone, Southgate, Valverde, and Zidane. Ray Hudson's best coach, he'd give it to Zinedine Zidane, as he led Real Madrid to their third consecutive UCL title. So I'll be discussing some of that. We'll also be talking about some Champions League qualifiers. Leg 1 results include PAOK FC 2, FC Basel 1, Dinamo Zagreb 5, Hapoel Beersheva 0, KF Shkendiha 1, FC Sheriff Tiraspol 0, Red Star Belgrade 3, FK Seduva 0, Legia Warsaw 0, Spartak Trnava 2, FC Astana 2, FC Midtjylland 1, and CFR Cluj 0, Malmo FF 1. So we'll be talking about some of that. And also we'll be talking about Thierry Henry. He has been linked to an Aston Villa position, as the Arsenal legend assisted Roberto Martinez with Belgium in the World Cup. So could he be making the move to England? And also we'll be talking about the top 5 transfer tracker stories. 5 is that Leonardo Bonucci has been linked to a Man United move. 4 is that Milan is looking to swoop in for Gonzalo Higuain. And 3, Justin Meram is to make a Columbus return. 2, Alphonso Davies heading to FC Bayern. And 1, FC Barcelona has sealed the deal with Malcolm, so big news there. And also we'll look at it, FC Barcelona 2018-19, a look ahead to their season. And is this year the Blaugranas to lose, as the Catalonian side has won 13. They finished second in La Liga and were the Copa del Rey champ. In 2015 and 16, they finished first in La Liga and were the Copa del Rey champ. In 2014 and 15, they finished first in La Liga and were the UCL champ. And in 2013 and 14, they finished second in La Liga and were the Copa del Rey runner-up. And we'll talk about Ernesto Valverde as he enters his second year at FC Barcelona. He led the team to La Liga Santander title in his debut season. So what will we be expecting from him in his second season at the helm? And here is Ray Hudson of beIN Sports, his starting 11 for FC Barcelona, and I'll be talking about that possible lineup. He has Ter Stegen in goal, Alba at left back, Umtiti at left center back, Piqué at right center back, and Semedo at right back. He has Busquets at the holding center mid, Melo at the left mid, Rakitic at right mid, Coutinho at attacking center mid, Suarez at left forward, and Messi at right forward. So I'll be commenting on what FC Barcelona's lineup could possibly be looking like. And also, Jose Mourinho heads into his third Man United season, as the Red Devils were runner-ups in both the FA Cup and EPL last year. So what will it be like this year? As Paul Scholes knows the Man United standard, he said, Manchester United are expected to win the league, full stop. So we'll be reacting to those comments. And if he's right of what he said about Manchester United, because many agree with him. And also Jose Mourinho's Manchester United moments in 2016 and 17. He came in 6th in the Premier League, and in the FA Cup, they were out in the 5th round, but were the Europa League champs. And in 2017 and 18, definitely a little bit better with finishing 2nd place in the Premier League and 2nd place in the FA Cup and making it to the round of 16 in the Champions League. So we'll be talking about how he's done with Man United so far and what we'll expect from him coming up in the future. And also the 2018 International Champions Cup resuming tonight with 5 matches as the Giants of Europe tour the U.S. for the preseason. So we'll be previewing some International Champions Cup action tonight. So that's everything we'll be talking about in today's show, and I hope you will enjoy. So let's start talking about La Liga as the schedule has come out for 2018 and 19. And we'll talk about some notable games. Valencia taking on Atletico Madrid. That's obviously day 1 of La Liga on August 19th, which really is not too soon from now. Always the first game of the season, a big game for any league. And Real Betis taking on Sevilla FC in the great rivalry. That's week 3 on September 2nd. We'll be looking forward to that. And, of course, Real Madrid playing Atletico Madrid in the Madrid derby on week 7 on September 30th. Valencia CF taking on FC Barcelona on week 8 on October 7th. Of course, a big rivalry there. And, of course, FC Barcelona taking on Real Madrid in the El Clasico on October 28th, and Real Madrid taking on FC Barcelona in the second El Clasico on March 3rd, the El Clasico. Something to always look forward to. But that's how we'll move into our next topic. What will life in La Liga be after Cristiano Ronaldo? Because the El Clasico will be missing one of its greatest characters. So it will definitely be a different feel to the El Clasico with no more of the Messi-Ronaldo rivalry, different type of El Clasico. So it will be something to look forward to with a new feel to the Barcelona-Real Madrid rivalry. And Messi obviously will still be in it. And of course, Real Madrid and Barca with many of the same players with that rivalry. It will still be there, definitely, and it'll still be a great El Clasico, I bet, and it will be different, but it will be something to look forward to for sure. And let's also discuss who could be the player of the year. The nominees, of course, Ronaldo of Real Madrid and Portugal, De Bruyne of Man City and Belgium, Griezmann of Atletico Madrid and France, Hazard of Chelsea in Belgium, Kane of Tottenham in England, Mbappe of Paris Saint-Germain and of Real Madrid and France. So those are the nominees. Definitely a lot of great players in the Player of the Year for this year. But a lot of people say maybe Modric should get it. Maybe another player other than Cristiano or Lionel Messi. But me personally, I think Ronaldo will get the Player of the Year once again because his stats were unbelievable. And I think as long as Ronaldo and Messi are still playing, it will either be Ronaldo or Messi. I could be wrong, of course, but that's what I think. But it will definitely be. It could be someone other than those two. But because there's been some great performances by De Bruyne, Griezmann, Hazard, Kane, Mbappe, Modric, Salah, and even Varane. Varane winning both Champions League and the World Cup, so a great year for Varane too. And of course, Modric with the magical run versus Croatia. With Croatia, my bad. And it will be interesting to see who wins the Player of the Year award this year. It'll be something to look forward to. So as we move on from Player of the Year, let's talk about who will get the Coach of the Year, because the nominees are Allegri of Juventus, Cherchesov of Russia, Dalic of Croatia, Deschamps of France, Guardiola of Manchester City, Klopp of Liverpool, Martinez of Belgium, Simeone of Atletico Madrid, Southgate of England, Valverde of Barcelona, and Zidane of Real Madrid. So definitely some great nominees with club teams and countries, as of course the World Cup taking place this summer, which was a great World Cup, by the way. So who do you think will get the Coach of the Year? Because I think Zidane has to get it, because winning 3 Champions League titles in a row, I really think he'll get it. Of course, Deschamps winning the World Cup was great, but he did have a big talent of players, which could have been expected, that France could have been one of those teams to win the World Cup. Of course, Dalic taking Croatia deep into the tournament. Cherchesov leading Russia to an amazing tournament, really. Allegri putting on a show with Juventus. Guardiola with Man City winning his first Premier League title with Man City. Klopp with getting Liverpool all the way to the Champions League final. Martinez making Belgium go all the way to the semifinals. Simeone with an impressive season at Atletico Madrid. Southgate obviously overcoming England's haunt of not going far in a World Cup, and Valverde winning La Liga in his first season with Barcelona, and of course Zidane winning 3 straight Champions League. I think it has to go to Zidane, but it'll definitely be a good battle for Coach of the Year this year, and it'll be interesting to see who gets the award ultimately in the end. But let's talk a little bit about Champions League qualifiers in Ligue 1. It's the second qualifying round, as PAOK beat Basel 2-1, the Greek side beating the Swiss side in the first leg in Greece. And also Dinamo Zagreb beating Beersheva 5-0. An impressive thrashing of Beersheva by Zagreb. And also Shkendia beating Sheriff Tiraspol 1-0. Red Star Belgrade beating Saduba. Warsaw losing to Spartak Trnava, which is a bit of a surprise in the first leg. And Astana beating Midtjylland 2-1, a good win for them. And Malmo beating Cluj 1-0. So definitely some games to keep an eye on in the second qualifying round. Obviously, the third qualifying round is what many people watch, but there's still some decent teams in the second qualifying round trying to get to that third qualifying round. And it will be interesting to see how Leg 2 plays out. In many of these legs, close games, half of them were 1-goal games in the first leg. So it will be some interesting second leg matchups, as the second leg will take place next week in the middle of the week. But, of course, games not being on TV here in the U.S. anyway until the third qualifying round, when teams we're more familiar with will be taking part in that qualifying round for those who didn't finish high enough for an automatic spot in their respective leagues. And so that's some Champions League qualifiers. Believe it or not, Champions League will be taking place soon, and it's crazy to think about that, as we feel like the final just happened right before the World Cup. And it did. It's a short break before we're back in action. And also, let's talk about Thierry and Henry. He has been linked to an Aston Villa position as the Arsenal legend. He did assist Roberto Martinez with Belgium in the World Cup. So he definitely has that top-level experience, not as a head coach, but as an assistant. And could he be going to Aston Villa, as they have been reportedly they're going to have a meeting with the current coach of whether to sack him or not. And if he is sacked, there is a good chance that Thierry Henry will be off to Birmingham to coach Aston Villa. And it would definitely be an interesting scene there, as it would be his first head coaching job. Of course, he'd be trying to get them to the Premier League after a tough loss in the playoff final to get into the Premier League. But it would be definitely interesting if Thierry Henry did go to coach Aston Villa in the Championship of England in the second division. And definitely a good opportunity for him, but I'm not sure how Aston Villa would feel. I mean, obviously they'd want him to come coach if they want to hire him, But how would that go with not too much coaching experience, and not even a head coach he's been yet. So Thierry Henry taking over Aston Villa would definitely be an interesting change for Aston Villa. And also, let's talk about the transfer tracker a little, as Leonardo Bonucci has been linked to a Man United move. So he's been linked elsewhere, but now reports have said that he may be making the move to Man United, as he had a struggling season with AC Milan, really. But the coach really wants him to stay. But he might be on his way to England. Who knows? As Man United is definitely one of the teams trying to get him, and he may be linked to a move there. And also, Milan is looking to swoop in for Gonzalo Higuain. So could Bonucci also be going back to Juventus for a swap move for Higuain to AC Milan? It would definitely be an interesting move, because Gonzalo Higuain, obviously great with Napoli, played all right with Juventus, and it would be interesting to see him in an AC Milan jersey staying in Serie A, and it would really be a question mark to see how he'd do there, as he has also been linked to a Chelsea move, but could he be off to AC Milan instead? And also, Justin Meram is to make a Columbus return. Definitely, Meram, he played phenomenally at Columbus, really, and he went to Orlando City, where things haven't quite worked out. So could he be on his way back to Columbus, where he did great with the team, making a run to the MLS Cup final? And that would definitely be a good return for him and for Columbus even. And could Alphonso Davies be heading to FC Bayern, as the Canadian man, the Canadian boy, I should say, as he's still so young? The Canadian has been linked to a move to FC Bayern Munich, and he's been playing with Vancouver Whitecaps, a phenomenal young player. And he's been phenomenal with Vancouver Whitecaps. And could he be going to FC Bayern Munich? What a big move that would be, from going to an MLS team to a German team in one of Europe's top leagues and top club in the world. And it would definitely be good for MLS to see one of their players going to a big European club. And also, FC Barcelona has sealed the deal with Malcolm. A lot of people thought he'd be going to Roma, and then Barcelona jumped in last second and literally stole him from Roma, basically, as Roma thought they had the deal done. Barca came in last second, and the deal went through. And Malcolm is heading to Barca. The Bordeaux man will be going to Barcelona, and it'll definitely be maybe Barcelona doing a little payback from losing to Roma in the Champions League by taking Malcolm at the last second. But definitely a big move from Barcelona, and for Malcolm. Even he played great in Ligue 1 last season, and we will see how much playing time he gets with Barca and how he will do at the European Giants. Also, we'll do an FC Barcelona 2018-19 a look ahead to their season. As we looked ahead a little to Real Madrid yesterday, we'll look ahead to Barcelona today on this episode of Soccer Now. So the question is this year the Blaugranas to lose? Because the Catalonian side has won 3 of the past 5 La Liga titles, so dominant in domestic play. And will they keep that up? Because definitely they've been dominant in domestic play, and definitely with Real Madrid making the move for Cristiano Ronaldo leaving and a new coach coming in. A lot of question marks from the Real Madrid side, whereas with Barcelona, not as many question marks, as it's much of the same team as last season, if not even better, with some pickups they have made. And they finished 17 points ahead of Real. And a lot of people don't see anything changing this year. A lot of people think Barcelona will win it again, which would be impressive. An impressive 4 out of the last 6 La Liga titles for Barcelona. And it's definitely this season a season where it's definitely a year where the title is theirs, and it's not one of the easiest years to win it, I'd say, but the best chance to win it with a lot of question marks coming from other La Liga sides like Real Madrid. And so FC Barcelona's past 5 seasons, they came first in La Liga 3 of the past 5. As I said, they've been Copa del Rey champs 3 of the past 5 years. Also, the last 3 years, actually. And they were the Champions League. They were the UCL champs in 2014-15, coming in first in La Liga that season too, and were the Copa del Rey runners-up in 2013 and 14. In the other 2 years, they did not win La Liga, coming second. So they've been second or first in the last 5 years. So impressive in domestic play all around. Maybe not so much in the Champions League, but they did win the Champions League in 2014-15. But other than that, it's been more of domestic dominance, as there's been some Champions League failures. So definitely, maybe Champions League can be something they can do better in this season. And so Ernesto Valverde, he enters his second year at FC Barcelona, as he led the team to a La Liga Santander title in his debut season. So not much more to ask for in his debut season, as he won La Liga with Barca in a cakewalk, really. But it'll definitely, many people think it won't be as much as a cakewalk this year. So Valverde with a great season in the running for Coach of the Year. And could he win it again with Barcelona? Many think so, and he had a great first year. And how will he utilize the new players he got? And so that leads me to my next comment, as in the lineup, in Ray Hudson anyway, of beIN Sports, his starting 11 for FC Barcelona is Ter Stegen in goal, Alba, Umtiti, Piqué, Semedo in the back, Busquets, Melo, Rakitic, Coutinho in the midfield, and Suarez and Messi up top. So definitely a solid lineup there, with Melo obviously being the pickup for Barcelona. And Semedo starting in front of Sergi Roberto might as well happen, but it will be a tough decision for Valverde there, because it's definitely been – Roberto's definitely been really phenomenal at Barcelona, but Semedo not getting enough minutes maybe, and he has a lot of talent too. So it'll be interesting to see who takes that right back position. But moving on from Barcelona, we'll talk about Jose Mourinho. He heads into his 3rd Man United season, and the Red Devils were runners-up in both FA Cup and EPL last year, but runners-up definitely better than last season, the season before, as they finished much lower in both competitions. But runners-up is not enough for Man United. So can they win the Premier League or FA Cup this season? We'll see, because Paul Scholes said that Manchester United are expected to win the league, full stop. And as a historic club like Man United, many think that they should win the league, are expected to win the league every year. They haven't done so in 5 years. So this year, definitely a year that Man United will. It'll be interesting to see how they do, as many think they can do very well this season. And so Jose Mourinho's Manchester United moments, as I mentioned earlier, in 2016-17, his first year, finishing 6th in the Premier League. And in the FA Cup, out in the 5th round, they were Europa League champs, which is the only reason they got to Champions League the following season, with the new rule coming in place. as if you win Europa League, you go automatically to the Champions League. But other than the Europa League champions, a very disappointing season. In 2017 and 18, it was better. They finished second place, but far behind Manchester City. So not the best second place finish as many would look at. Just looking if they finished in second place, you'd say, okay, pretty decent. But considering how far they were behind first place, maybe not as good as many would think. And finishing second place in the FA Cup, losing to Chelsea in the final, maybe they should have won the FA Cup. And falling to the round of 16 in Champions League, very disappointing to a Sevilla side that many thought Man United were better than. So let's see how they do in Champions League this season, and especially in the Premier League too. And before the show ends, we'll talk about some 2018 International Champions Cup as the Giants of Europe tour to the U.S. for preseason. It's a lot of matches to look forward to, as we had Monday and yesterday as off days, but today we're back in full swing in ICC as there's 5 matches tonight. A lot to look forward to. As at 7 o'clock on ESPN, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time on ESPNU, Juventus takes on Bayern Munich, a big clash of European sides there. And also at 8 o'clock on ESPN News, Borussia Dortmund takes on Benfica. So Keaton Parks versus Christian Pulisic. Many expect the two Americans. It will be a good matchup to watch there. And also 8 o'clock. And also, 8 o'clock, there is another matchup. Not sure who. My bad. I don't have it in my notes right now. But 10 o'clock, it will be on ESPN2. It'll be Roma versus Tottenham, and 11 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. It's Manchester United versus AC Milan. That's right, 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. It's Liverpool versus Man City. So two Premier League sides, powerhouses really, clashing in tonight's match. So that's your whole lineup. So let me go through it again. 7 Eastern time, 4 Pacific time on ESPNU. It's Juventus versus Bayern Munich. 8 Eastern time, 5 Pacific. It's Dortmund versus Benfica, and also 8 Eastern time, 5 Pacific. It's Liverpool versus Man City on ESPN2, and at 10 Eastern time, 7 Pacific on ESPN2, it's Roma versus Tottenham, and the final game of the day at 11 Eastern time, 8 Pacific, it's Man United versus AC Milan. So a lot of teams making their debut in ICC play as it really gets in full swing, and a lot to look forward to. And also before tomorrow's show, there'll actually be another game taking place on Thursday that will happen. It's Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time on ESPNU. The game taking place in Singapore, part of the ICC also. So 6 games between the next 24 hours, and with our right now this show and tomorrow's show. So a lot of ICC action, a lot of soccer to look forward to, despite being preseason. There's a lot of great games taking place. So I hope you enjoy all the ICC action tonight and even tomorrow morning. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, And we'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed the show, and enjoy ICC tonight and tomorrow, and we'll discuss all of that and more on tomorrow's show. See you next time. Bye.